Welcome to our A2L refrigerant review. This session is designed as an introductory guide to help us better understand the use, safety, and operational considerations of A2L refrigerants as they become increasingly prevalent in the HVAC industry in the upcoming year. Before we dive in, let me remind you that this presentation is for training purposes only. It's vital to always refer to the manufacturer's instructions for specific applications and ensure careful consideration to company safety policies and operating procedures. Your safety and our customer safety is our top priorities. Here's a brief overview of what we'll cover during today's session. We'll discuss what A2L refrigerants are, why they're being introduced, and their benefits and challenges in HVAC systems. Most importantly, safety considerations as A2L refrigerants are mildly flammable. So we'll go over some precautions and steps to ensure safety during installation, maintenance, and servicing. We'll review how A2L refrigerants are incorporated into current systems, including the role of sensors and controllers like the Dragonfly RDS board. Using a few operational scenarios and diagrams, we'll explore how these systems respond under normal operation and fault conditions, such as refrigerant leaks. By the end of this session, you'll have a better understanding of how to work safely and efficiently with A2L refrigerants. Let's get started. A2L refrigerants, an important topic shaping the future of our industry. These refrigerants are key because they have a low global warming potential, or GWP. GWP measures how much a refrigerant contributes to global warming, and the lower the number, the better it is for the environment. With regulations phasing down traditional HFC refrigerants, the industry is shifting towards A2Ls that meet the new requirement of a GWP of 700 or less. For example, R32 has a GWP of 675, while R454B is even lower at 466. This transition helps us reduce the environmental impact of our work, aligning with global sustainability goals and our core company values. At Enercare, we're in it for tomorrow. These changes position all of us for long-term success while helping to protect the planet. As we work more with A2L refrigerants, there are some key safety considerations to keep in mind. First, let's break down the acronym A2L. The A indicates that these refrigerants are non-toxic, while the 2L classification refers to their lower flammability. This is different from the traditional refrigerants many of us are used to, which are typically non-flammable. Because of this flammability, you'll notice a distinct difference in labeling. Cylinders containing A2L refrigerants will have a prominent flammable label as shown here. These labels aren't just for compliance, they're critical for safety. They serve as an important reminder to handle and store these refrigerants with care. From a safety standpoint, it's vital to always be mindful of these labels and follow proper storage guidelines to reduce any risks. By taking these precautions, we're not only protecting ourselves, but also raising the bar in how we approach safety in our work. This shift is another step towards sustainability, aligning with industry regulations, preparing us for the future. Remember, staying informed and following best practices ensures we win together by keeping our team and customers safe. Continuing deeper into what you can expect with A2Ls in the residential market, the two refrigerants that are likely to dominate, R32 and R454B, will be clearly marked for identification. Look for cylinders with a red top or red band to signal that they contain A2L refrigerants. Now, there's an important technical detail to be aware of here. Some of the threaded connectors on these cylinders are expected to have a left-hand threaded outlet. This is a deliberate safety measure to prevent cross-contamination with non-flammable refrigerants. Because of this, you may need an adapter to connect your equipment, and is something to keep in mind as we transition to these new refrigerants. The adapters shown here will help you bridge the gap when working with reverse threaded connections. It's a small adjustment that ensures compatibility and safety, reinforcing the care we take in every aspect of our work. When working with A2L refrigerant cylinders, proper storage and transportation are critical for safety and TDG compliance. Here are a few key points to remember. First, A2L cylinders must always be stored and transported in a vertical upright position. This is to ensure the vapor phase of the refrigerant is at the safety device and the safety valves function as intended while preventing any accidental release of liquid refrigerant. Most of our service and install vehicles are already equipped with upright racks to accommodate this. But if needed, retrofitting these racks is a simple upgrade to ensure we're meeting this requirement. Transportation of dangerous goods states that we can operate under the 150 kilogram exemption, thereby allowing a service van or truck to carry up to a total weight of 150 kilograms or 330 pounds of pressurized gas cylinders without the need for any placarding, specialized training, or shipping documents to be carried. That total weight must include the tare weight and the contents of all transported cylinders, like your nitrogen, virgin and recovered refrigerants, and your acetylene. Temperature control is also crucial. A2L cylinders must be stored at temperatures below 51.6 degrees Celsius or 125 degrees Fahrenheit. This is not just a guideline, it's a safety mandate. Temperatures above this limit can increase the pressure in the cylinder, creating unnecessary risks. Be mindful of where cylinders are stored, especially in the hotter months or regions, to keep them in a safe temperature range. Lastly, as part of our commitment to safety, all service and install vehicles will be retrofitted with ventilation systems over the next calendar year. These ventilation upgrades are designed to improve airflow and reduce temperatures, further reducing any potential risks when transporting these refrigerants. Some of the key updates and requirements when working with equipment containing A2Ls. First, all equipment that uses A2L refrigerants will feature clear and visible labels. These labels ensure that anyone interacting with the system is immediately aware of the refrigerant type and its associated properties, such as its mild flammability. Second, outdoor heat pump and air conditioning units will have a red band on their service valves, or in some cases, red service valve caps. Like 410A before it, this serves as a visual identifier, making it easy to differentiate these systems from those using more traditional refrigerants. Some manufacturers may be implementing updated electrical components designed to minimize ignition risks. One example is the addition of covers on contactors, which could help reduce the exposure to potential ignition sources. While this change has not been fully confirmed, it reflects an industry-wide effort to prioritize safety in light of the mildly flammable nature of A2L refrigerants. We'll keep you updated as more information becomes available regarding this potential implementation. Lastly, equipment containing A2Ls will feature not just flammable labels, but also additional bold visual identifiers that specify the system's refrigerant type. These measures reinforce the importance of clear labeling for safe handling and maintenance. Reading, understanding, and following Enercare's best practices for job site safety with a focus on proper PPE usage and emergency preparedness. First is an opportunity to align with the Enercare Operations Manual Safety Standards in Section 7, which details comprehensive safety guidelines. You are encouraged to regularly familiarize yourself with this section as it provides specific guidelines designed to protect you, the worker, and for maintaining a safe working environment for all. Next, a Class ABC fire extinguisher must be readily available and in close proximity to the work area at all times. This ensures quick response capability in the event of an emergency, particularly when brazing and now working with A2Ls. Additionally, PPE is a critical component of job site safety. Workers must wear appropriate protection provided based on the hazards present. Work together with your Joint Health and Safety Committee and your manager to continuously raise the bar when it comes to safety. Incorporating industry-leading safety standards means prioritizing not just compliance, but also creating a proactive culture of protection. This includes assessing each job site for unique risks and ensuring that workers are fully equipped and trained to handle those conditions. For instance, regular PPE inspection and maintenance ensures that these items remain reliable and can help to protect you if they're ever needed. Proper installation of refrigerant piping is critical for the performance and safety of A2L systems. Follow our best practices in the Operations Manual, Section 8, to ensure secure, leak-free joints. Use nitrogen before, during, and post-brazing to purge the lines, prevent oxidation, and ensure all joints are properly inspected after cooling. Keeping rotolock, service valves, and the internal components cool by applying a drenched cloth or wet rag putty continues to be an important practice, and maybe more with the change to A2L refrigerants and equipment. Tech Services is also in the process of testing and pursuing the use of a reliable, no-braze fitting option to limit the amount of hot work. More information to come as that testing progresses. Only use A2L approved manifold gauges, recovery machines, and vacuum pumps to guarantee compatibility and safety when working with these refrigerants. Review and validate with the manufacturer's literature or vendor that the tools and equipment being used are A2L approved. Additionally, install striker plates where line sets run through stud bays to prevent accidental punctures during or after installation. These plates provide a layer of protection and align with our goal of treating every home as our own by maintaining a safe, durable system design. Maintaining these practices raises the bar for quality and long-term system performance, and what sets us apart from every other contractor in the field. At best to be considered a rumor, but still spreading like an uninformed wildfire, is the myth that A2Ls contain propane, which is completely and unequivocally untrue. This is an important fact to address because there's clearly been some confusion around this in the industry, likely due to their low flammability and that both contain hydrofluorocarbons. Both R32 and R454B are A2L refrigerants, but with distinct compositions. R32 is a single component HFC refrigerant made up of CH2F2. R454B is a blend containing 70% R32 and 30% R1234YF, making both options a much lower GWP alternative to 410A. Now, what about charging methods? R32, being offered in the Goodman, Amana, Dakin product lineup, can be charged in either the liquid phase or the vapor phase. This versatility can be helpful depending on the system's needs during servicing. R454B, however, must only be charged in the liquid phase. This is because it's a blend, and charging in the vapor phase could lead to refrigerant fractionation, which can drastically impact performance and efficiency. Carrier, ICP, Lennox, and Kinghome are all expected to be using R454B. Always consult the manufacturer's labeling and/or literature to confirm the refrigerant within the system. With the integration of A2Ls into our AC and heat pump systems, service protocols have been updated to emphasize safety and best practices. When entering a home known to be equipped with A2L systems, technicians shall activate their certified A2L leak detectors to check for potential refrigerant leaks before beginning any work. This proactive step ensures both personal safety and adherence to industry guidelines. Additionally, the process for managing A2Ls has shifted to further prioritize safe handling. Instead of relying on a scroll compressor to pump down refrigerants, technicians are now required to recover the remaining charge using A2L-rated recovery equipment and dedicated, clearly marked recovery cylinders. This approach mitigates risks associated with overpressure, excessive heat, and potential refrigerant fractionation particularly for blends like R454B. As with the improved installation practices, service procedures must follow the most stringent safety standards, referencing Section 9 of the Operations Manual and supporting manufacturer documentation. Staying informed and diligent ensures both safety and compliance in every service scenario. Furthermore, when working with A2L refrigerants, it is essential to take precautions to minimize ignition risks during evacuation. Always conduct evacuations in well-ventilated areas and ensure the vacuum pump's exhaust is directed away from any potential ignition sources. When making repairs, avoid using a torch to unsweat joints or fittings. Instead, cut into the piping system to safely remove the damaged section. Then use nitrogen as a purge gas while brazing the system back together to prevent oxidation and maintain system integrity. Take time to thoroughly review and understand these updated safe work practices and A2L procedures. Being informed and diligent ensures safer operations and reinforces our commitment to protecting both our technicians and the customers we serve. The refrigerant detection systems, or RDS, represent a critical safety advancement when it comes to the implementation of A2L refrigerants. Designed to enhance operational safety and prevent potential hazards related to refrigerant leaks. These systems integrate seamlessly into the functionality of HVAC equipment, delivering both monitoring and proactive intervention capabilities. Some of the key features of RDS systems across manufacturers are leak detection sensors. Positioned near indoor coils or other high-risk points, these sensors detect the presence of A2L refrigerants. Upon detection of a leak, the system triggers a sequence of safety measures. Activation of the RDS will typically disable the burner or electric heating elements to prevent ignition risks, and initiate the circulation fan to disperse refrigerant and minimize localized concentrations. Additionally, a fault code display. Most systems interface with the equipment's control boards to display specific A2L fault codes, aiding technicians in efficient troubleshooting and maintenance. It is important to note that while the overall design philosophy of RDS is not standardized across all manufacturers and configurations, design and implementations will vary. For example, the Lennox RDS system is a factory or field installed safety, designed to support the safe operation of A2L refrigerant systems, specifically within their air handlers, coils, and furnaces. New A2L rated product is already being shipped by Lennox. However, there are retrofit RDS kits for products that are not currently equipped. The RDS consists of a few key components. One, an R454B rated sensor is installed near the evaporator coil, typically on a mounting bracket, and senses potential refrigerant leaks in the airstream. And two, the blower control board. That is integrated or installed to ventilate the area by running the blower when a leak is detected and ensures that any leaked refrigerant is diluted and moved away from enclosed spaces to minimize risk. Some of the key features of the Lennox RDS are proactive leak detection, which monitors the airstream for refrigerant leaks to ensure safety and compliance with A2L refrigerant standards. Secondly, automation and protection. When a leak is detected, the RDS disables the system operation, such as the burner, and activates the blower to ventilate. Additionally, let's take a moment to talk about the Lennox RDS line set sleeve. This might not seem like a big deal at first glance, but it plays a crucial role in ensuring a safe and efficient installation. Think of it as an extra layer of protection for the refrigerant lines. It helps keep the lines isolated from contact with the coil casing or ductwork penetrations, which means no unnecessary vibration, noise, or wear and tear over time. This is particularly important in systems using A2L refrigerants, where safety and precision are key. What's great about this sleeve is how it contributes to a quieter and smoother system operation. By helping to reduce vibration transfer and insulating the lines, it not only protects the equipment, but also contributes to a more comfortable space for the homeowner. Plus, it's made from durable, corrosion-resistant materials, so you're adding long-term reliability to the installation. They're a simple step during an A2L installation that aligns with our commitment to raising the bar every day and treating every home as if it's our own, and is another one of the little details that sets us apart. Augmenting A2L refrigerants and the associated RDS components into new and existing HVAC systems will come in a few different ways, as can be seen by the infographic chart on the screen. Let's go through each of the possible configurations that you may be implementing out in the field. These configurations are designed to ensure compatibility and safety while upgrading or maintaining systems. We'll clarify what components are needed for proper setup in each scenario. Here's a common upgrade scenario: adding a new A2L air conditioner or heat pump to an older furnace or air handler that is not A2L enabled. In this case, we'll need to install both the RDS board and the A2L sensor. These components ensure the system can detect and respond to any potential refrigerant leaks, providing safety for the homeowner and protecting the equipment. A key takeaway here is the Lennox Versatile Coil. This 2024-01 model is convertible at the time of initial installation from R410A to R454B using the RDS coil sensor kit and TXV. However, converting the coil after the installation would violate the safety agency mark and void the warranty. This flexibility at installation allows the dual refrigerant coil to remain in place if preferred when pairing it with a 454B outdoor unit or repairing an existing 410A unit through 2025. When installing a fully A2L compatible AC or heat pump system with an older furnace, only the blower control kit is needed. The new R454B indoor coil will already be equipped with the RDS sensor, so no additional modifications to the coil setup are required. In this second example, we have an A2L enabled furnace or air handler paired with a 410A system. This setup doesn't require an RDS board or sensor because there's no A2L refrigerant involved. However, it's important to update the furnace parameters. You'll need to disable the A2L specific alarms and error codes since they won't apply here. Follow each furnace manufacturer's installation guide for more specific setup details. Scenario 3. And finally, we have a fully A2L compatible system. Both the furnace and the outdoor unit are designed for A2L refrigerants. In this case, proper wiring is more critical to ensure seamless integration. The RDS components will already be part of the system. However, double check that everything is configured and wired correctly to meet current safety standards. Understanding each of the possible scenarios is key to safely and effectively working with Lennox RDS systems as we transition to A2L refrigerants. Make sure to consult the specific configuration charts like the one shown here and follow all manufacturer recommendations, remembering that the goal is to deliver the most reliable, safe, and efficient systems for our customers. Let's take a closer look at how an externally mounted Lennox RDS system integrates with a standard 24-volt thermostat. In this setup, the RDS acts as a pass-through for each low-voltage signal running between the thermostat and the appliance. Essentially, the system operates normally unless the RDS sensor detects an A2L-related fault. If that happens, it overrides the standard operation. The blower automatically switches to cooling speed, while both the burner and the outdoor unit are locked out to maintain safety. Now, when we're dealing with a communicating thermostat like the Lennox S30 or S40, the RDS blower control module is a slightly different model. set up to send and receive the proprietary Linux communication. That module also ensures seamless communication and safety overrides tailored specifically to the advanced capabilities of these thermostats. It's a great example of how these systems are engineered to prioritize safety and efficiency in any configuration. The Dakin RDS system follows a similar strategy and is designed to be paired with a non-A2L furnace or air handler. The Dragonfly control pictured, like the previous manufacturer, also provides terminals for the appliances, RDS sensor, rated for R32 in this case, and the thermostat conductors. This one does, however, offer an alarm output to power a field-provided and installed alarm, and has an integrated diagnostic LED and push button. Pictured is how a traditional 24-volt control system and sensor would be wired for safe A2L operation. The sensor being provided within the coil and the Dragonfly board being field installed. The control essentially sits idle unless there is a fault sensed, whether that is a refrigerant leak, control, or internal sensor fault. So let's walk through how this RDS system steps in when an A2L refrigerant leak occurs. First, the sensor keeps an eye out for refrigerant leaks all the time. If it detects R32 refrigerant, it immediately sends a signal to the RDS control board. Once the board receives that signal, it springs into action and shuts down the 24 volts power going to the thermostat. What does this do? It completely shuts off the outdoor unit and stops any outgoing heating or cooling operation, kind of like pulling the plug for safety. At the same time, the RDS controller forces the indoor blower to run at cooling speed. This is a crucial step because it helps ventilate the area and dilute any refrigerant concentration. The benefit to this setup is that the RDS board usually just acts as a pass-through for signals between the thermostat and the system. But when something goes wrong, it overrides everything to prioritize safety, even in a low flammability environment. This is especially important in a non-communicating system, like the one shown in the diagram, where everything relies on standard 24-volt wiring. So, with the RDS in place, not only are you notified of a leak through alarms, but the system also takes proactive steps to prevent any hazardous situations. Here we're looking at how the RDS board integrates into a communicating system with a Dakin. Let's break it down. The RDS sensor is mounted to the coil and it communicates with the Dragonfly board. In this setup, the Dragonfly board still acts as a pass-through for all the thermostat and furnace communication signals during normal operation. Like right now, where we can see everything running smoothly with no leak detected. The system continues to operate as intended, and any data passed through it seamless. But what happens when the RDS board detects a refrigerant leak in a system with a communicating thermostat? As soon as the A2L sensor picks up a leak, the Dragonfly board steps in to take control. And here's what happens next. First, the Dragonfly board disconnects the communication lines to isolate the indoor and outdoor units, effectively shutting down the outdoor unit immediately. Secondly, it applies a cooling airflow call at the indoor unit. This forces the blower to ramp up to cooling speed to help disperse any leaked refrigerant safely and maintain airflow by powering the G, Y1, and Y2 circuits at the furnace. The thermostat stays powered on, so the homeowner or technician can still see there's a fault. This safety-first approach ensures that we're protecting both the system and the people in the home while making it as clear as possible that action is needed. As our final example, let's take a closer look at the integration of A2L refrigerant sensors and dissipation boards in ICP and carrier equipment models. For the foreseeable future, the coils, furnaces, and air handlers will retain the current nomenclature conventions and designs. However, Their A2L refrigerant sensor and dissipation board will now be added and wired according to the specific needs of the home comfort system when an AC or heat pump containing R454B are installed. For communicating systems, like those in the Infinity product line, the picture junction labeled CCN plug will be utilized. Otherwise, the 24-volt wiring harness as pictured on the bottom left will be required. Here's how the sensor works. When it detects a refrigerant concentration at approximately 20% of the lower flammability limit, it takes action to ensure safety. The outdoor unit and heating system will be powered off, while the indoor fan is brought on to dissipate the leak safely. To simplify installation, the dissipation wiring harness includes clear, labeled connections. Even with these features, always follow the manufacturer's provided installation and wiring diagrams from Carrier and ICP. Adhering to these guidelines ensures a safe, effective setup. It's all about making safety and performance our top priorities. Thank you for taking the opportunity to gain some knowledge and insight into the emerging A2L refrigerant market and what it brings to us as a company, our manufacturer partners, and our customers. There will be more to share around this topic and a few changes to navigate as we progress into 2025. A reminder to continue to review and practice the best installation and service procedures. A good example of that is pre-purging, brazing, and post-purging with nitrogen. As with A2Ls, that has never been more important. Being aware and educated to the unique manufacturer requirements, refrigerant handling practices, and new A2L safety measures is the way to ensure a smooth transition away from higher GWP refrigerants. A reminder of the 150 kilogram mass exemption limitations around A2L and pressurized cylinder transport. Carrying smaller recovery cylinders or utilizing aluminum bottles where possible are a few ways to optimize what you can carry in transit. As always, we encourage you to focus even more closely on your safety and any opportunities you might see to improve the safety of others around you. Thank you.